As part of our 20th anniversary of elk restoration, we follow the sound of helicopter rotors to southeast Kentucky. You always have a pretty wild and interesting job. It's not always in the office, is it?
Right, and you know, we're in the office some, but we're in the field a whole lot.
Tell us what we're doing today.
So we're out in the elk zone capturing elk for a relocation process. We catch elk and move elk around the zone every year. We added a little twist this year and brought in a helicopter.
So in the past, you guys have always put up traps, and if it snows and it's real cold, you bait them in and you close the door and you bring a truck in, you work them up and you relocate them to wherever.
Right.
Now you're literally going after them on site and getting them with a helicopter, correct?
Correct. You know, the corral traps are working. We all wanted to find a new method, a little bit more that was quicker, easier for staff, and good for the elk. And so helicopter capture is used out west all the time, and we wanted to try it here in Kentucky with our elk herd.
So you're doing a couple different things to help transport these animals safely. They're getting down and they're actually netting them, they're hooking them up, and then what else are they doing?
So at that point they get them, they put a blindfold on them. The blindfold really calms them down. You know, it kind of takes the stress away. They tie their legs together so they can't flop, and then they put them in this big bag, and capture bag, and it protects them, all their organs and their spine and their neck when they're flying. Put them in that bag, hook them up, fly them to us.
So you move them a short distance, you locate them, you drop them down on a big, essentially a landing zone. You do some workup. What are you doing with these right now?
All right, so it's a routine surveillance when we look at all of our elk. For our females, we want to check if they're pregnant or not. Overall body health, make sure they're in good shape and nothing wrong with them. We're checking to see how old they are, if they're male or female. Female. Just kind of body conditions and collecting some blood, and we'll do a total panel on them, just make sure they're overall healthy.
There's a whole lot of reasons you'd want to relocate an elk. I mean, it could be damage, it could be overpopulation, it could be just overall you've got 4.3 million acres in the elk restoration zone, and elk are really clustered in small groups. So we've got access to a really large piece of property, and we're going to be moving elk over there so that hopefully we'll establish a new herd.
Right, and that's something we've done and we found is very successful. You know, we brought all these elk into the release sites, and that didn't cover the elk zone like you said, and now we've found a few new locations where we've dropped these elk, and now we're to the point where we've protected them, and now we're opening them up to hunting.
It's really interesting. You think about taking an elk and locating it out of a helicopter, that makes sense. Coming in and immobilizing an elk, that makes sense, but they're not actually using any type of drugs or medication. This is 100% net.
There's a risk with anesthesia, and we know it's very safe and good, but there are complications and there are concerns with it. So if there's a way that we can catch them and not immobilize them and get them up on their feet and get them out of here, that's what we try to do. And the helicopter capture is a perfect example, from on the ground to a new location in a couple hours.
So it's going to be a little bit of stress on the animal, but it's a one day or a couple hour stress. I mean, literally these animals are going to be maybe a county away or a couple miles away. In a new location tonight, they'll be back to normal.
Yeah, and one morning they're in one part of the state, and the afternoon they're in another, in a whole new habitat. And you know, we've got collars on them, we're able to track them, make sure they're doing well, where they're moving on the landscape. But you know, it's a pretty quick process for us. This
takes a team. This ain't a one or two man show, is it?
No. You know, we have a large team, but a very great team, and we'll work together. You know, this is all new for us. We've never tried this. We try to talk to our Western counterparts, get some experience, talking to the company. You know, what do you need? And we're learning. And definitely, after a couple days now, we're in the groove. Know what we're doing. Everybody's got their role, and it's good.
It's really interesting. I appreciate you letting me get in there and get my hands involved.
Not a problem. It's good to see you working in there.
Spinning around.
Spinning around this time?
Yep. Take a second, pay attention where the door is. Notice it. Don't knock your head off. All right, whenever Kate's ready.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
You're dealing with wild animals.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of risk involved, but you guys are so professional in how you handle it. I mean, really, you minimize the risk by just doing this over and over and over.
And you know, you take all the safety precautions you need to for the elk and for us. And that's why they're hobbled, they're blindfolded, and that's all proper procedures when you're moving wildlife. And you know, we're taking our time and being careful, but also moving quickly.
Well, I know they're getting ready to come over that hillside with another animal, so we better get ready and get in our position.
Sounds good.
Thanks for giving us an update on this.
Yes, sir.
This is
Thank
great.
You.